Mama, yo, ya, mama, you know, mama, ya, mama, you know, The Chassid for Ren can accomplish, even the Malach Machal cannot accomplish. The Tzedek Chaim for the Refuah Kreva Shlema of Racham and Zolaycha and Libi Bracha of Asleya and all those for Shem Kreva, Yisitzum and Bracha, L'chaim and Bracha. On 7 up. Close. We're going. Look what we got over here. We're getting there. We're starting. We're getting closer. Get ready. We're going a little behind.
Sponsored. You're getting sponsored.
Is it a chair for you? Okay. Take a little bit. So the Reb Marash was once talking to one of his chassidim who was a diamond merchant. His name was Ramonish Monyason. You say that 3 times fast, you get an award. Monish Monyason. Monish Monyason was a diamond merchant, and he came to Marash, and Marash remarked about a certain individual. This individual, let's call him Noam, he has a very lofty soul, very high in the summer, very lofty soul. So Monish Monyason told the Rebbe, I don't think he's such a lofty soul. I mean, I know how you feel, but I don't see anything special about him. So Rebbe Marash asked him if he could show him his merchandise. He showed him his merchandise, and he put the one diamond to this diamond. This diamond is very, very valuable. This diamond is worth more than all other diamonds put together. So Rebbe Marash said, I don't see anything special about this diamond. So the chassid didn't get it yet. You got it. Right? So he says, yes, Rebbe, in order to understand diamonds, you have to be a maven. You have to be someone who knows diamonds. So Rebbe Marash said the same is also with Jews. Understand who a Jew is, you have to be a maven. Not everyone understands the virtue of a Jew, or who a Jew is. You have to be someone understands. Someone understands. So Rebbe Marash is famous for teaching Chila Riber. Chila Riber means to, at the outset, go straight over. It sounds like Rebbe Marash lived in a realm, in a world where there's no nature, where there's no limitations, where all there is miracles, where all there is just frogs and blood and lice and everything just going haywire. He lived in a different realm, different reality. Then Marash prefaces his teaching of going straight over with the following teaching, with the following words. Is the world says, if you can't go under an obstacle, go over an obstacle. But I said that Marash, go straight over. The world says that there's an obstacle. You can't go over, you can't go under, and then you go over. I say go straight over. In other words, Marash is saying, I'm talking about a world where there are limitations. I'm talking about a world where there is nature. I'm talking about a world where there is friction. And yet, although I am in the same realm as you, in the same world as you, where there are limitations, where there are problems, where there is insensitivity, where there's cruelty, and yet I'm telling you that in this room, in this world that you're in this realm that you're in, I want you to know that you're able to go, and you can go, and you should go, and you need to go. Straight over. Now, every day of the year is a day of Hashem blesses us. The day of the passing of Tzaddik, today's the anniversary of passing of Marash tonight. It's a unique blessing. And the way we connect with this blessing of this day is by learning, especially this teaching, his main teaching of Marash, which is the way. There's a concept in Kabbalah called an arousal from below causes an arousal from above. Exactly. When we make an effort on below in this world, there's a divine response. So there's a divine response to our efforts, and uniquely connected with Emerash's tonight. It's required in general. Guf basar gufa reisha also. Wherever the tzaddik goes, he brings all the souls of the Jewish people with him. So every tzaddik, every leader of every generation, that whenever there's something happening with the tzaddik, it affects all the neshamas, all the souls in the generation, because all the souls are connected to the tzaddik. But when you actually do something in sync with the lesson of what the tzaddik is teaching us, and then the kind of divine response we have personally from his elevation is something more, something much greater. In other words, it says that when a tzaddik goes to a higher place, he's channels salvation bekerev haaretz. Although he's going to a lofty, higher place in heaven, from that lofty place in heaven, he channels salvation, and the salvation reaches the earth, and then the earth itself reaches bekerev haaretz. It reaches in the earthiest and the lowest and the most mundane and the most natural and tangible things in reality. The olam hazatach in this lowly world, there's nothing lower than this world. So, but in order to connect to that and make it manifest by ourselves, it's important also for us to learn from this teaching, to be in that zone of chatchila riber, to go beyond. So I want to talk tonight a little bit about this idea of going beyond. I don't want us to talk about it. I want to go beyond. You guys want to come? Let's go. L'chaim, Rabbi, good. You want to go? We're going to go somewhere tonight. We're going to the Rambam. I want you to correct me if I'm misquoting. I think the Rabbi said the words that tonight we're able to accomplish more than Yom Kippur. The Rabbi is missing Yom Kippur to compliment tonight because it's a chatchila beyond limitations. Is it my misquoting? Is there such a thing? Something so. I'm not way off. Not way off. Something that's about tonight that can accomplish more than Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur brought us somewhere. Tonight we're going to go higher than Yom Kippur. And of course, whatever's missing in Yom Kippur, we're going to get there because we're chatchila riba. Chaim Rach. There was this chassid. Let's start. There was a chassid of one of the Belzer Rebbes. I don't remember which one. He said to the Rebbe, I'm very sad, I'm very depressed, I don't know what to do. So his Rebbe said to him, there's a circus coming to town. And the circus, I heard there's a really great jester among the clowns. I think you should watch the circus. He's like, Rabbi, that's me. I'm the jester. You're asking me to go to the circus to get happy? I'm the jester and I have the problem. So how do we actually get to Simcha? We're coming now is a time, preparing for the time of our joy, time of Sukkot. How do we have this happiness in Sukkot? Where does this happiness come from? What makes us to be so happy? It's Sukkot, we're so happy. Especially because Sukkot doesn't seem to be something that's so joyous. Why? Because on Sukkot, California is a little easier than New York on Sukkot, a little much easier than Minnesota, much easier than Montreal, right? There's no, you guys, I'm from Massachusetts, I know what Sukkot is really supposed to be like. You get up in the morning on Sukkot, and you have these metal chairs and you put outside, and you lift them up to let all the rain out of the chair, then you sit in the chair, you pretend that it's not so wet, and you guys know what I'm talking about even. It rains in the soup, right? And there's some people experience, this happened here also, a sukkah gets knocked over by the wind, right? And everything is upside down. And yet this is called the holiday of our joy. Well, maybe if we said, would you do everything is like so opposite. Let's have a holiday of our joy in Malibu. Let's go to Malibu and let's go on the beach and let's have some pina coladas and let's relax on some lounge chairs and we'll call it the time of our joy. What's the meaning? The time of our joy, and on going to Sukkot outside. I mean, California. Okay, that's but yes, Rabbi. So what's the joy? So let's first establish the difference between joy and pleasure. Mm-hmm. Pleasure means that there's something specific that you have pleasure from. You have pleasure from the beautiful. Thank you so much, Chaya Sarah, for putting that together. The Sudatai, the burgers are still on the way. That's one kind of enjoyment. You enjoy your palate enjoys something. It touches one part of your body. Enjoyment touches. You enjoy music. There's one part of you which is enjoying the music. Every kind of enjoyment you have, it touches something of you that you're enjoying. It doesn't touch all of you. Then something else, and that something else is called simcha. It's not pleasure. It's not enjoying. It's something deeper than that. It's something which has to do with you as you, not with a part of your body experiencing something. It's something which is not something to do with external. It has to do with you as you. And it's a little hard to get to this conversation because in English the word for happiness comes from the word to happen. Because the American understanding, the Greek understanding, which this comes from, of happiness is something happens to you. That's why you're happy, because something happened to you. But the Torah's view of simcha, of happiness, real happiness, is the Zohar says the word besimcha has the same letters as the word machshava. That our joy has to do with our thoughts. It's not to do with something which is happening to you, it has to do with something which is within you. So to understand this, there's one of the major focuses of the holiday of our joy, the holiday of Sukkot, is Simchas Beis HaSha'eva, the holiday of the drawing of the water, the celebration of the drawing of the water. What was the celebration of the drawing of the water? We go outside Jerusalem, the Kohen Gadol, the high priest, or representative of the high priest, goes to this area, this river called the Mei HaShiluach, and he takes his jug called a tzleiches, shalzav, a golden jug, and he immerses it in the water, and he brings it back to the temple. And then there's such a celebration, the drawing of the water, and there's juggling, and there's dancing, and there's happiness, and men and women and children all come to see the drawing of the water. It's just water. It's not wine. It's not even beer. It's just water. What's the celebration? And this was what would do with the water? They would take the water, and at the altar, on top of the altar, there were two holes, and ordinarily they would pour wine in the altar. On the holiday of Sukkot, they poured wine in one hole, water in the other hole. So this is a celebration of the water. Water is just water. Why is water a reason for celebration? What's the meaning of the celebration of the drawing of the water? So let's go a little deeper about water for a second. Most of the world is covered by water. Most of a human being is made up of water. If we wanted to look for life on other planets, what do scientists do when they want to establish if there's life on other planets? Do they have water? DNA, RNA all needs water. Water presents life. When Hashem created the world, the Torah says water was covering the world, and the Spirit of Hashem was on top of the water. By the way, no one has to wait for to wash their burgers. The burgers are kosher. You can wait if you want. The world being covered with water. What does that mean? And what when the Spirit of Hashem in the water? What this means is, let's do this right now, for a second. We wake up in the morning, right? What happens when we wake up in the morning? Right away, we have all kinds of thoughts. What we should have done, what we need to do, what we could have done. Right? That's the first thing that hits us in the morning. But imagine if you looked at the thoughts in your mind and your heart as being outside of yourself, and you able to reject those thoughts and completely completely divest yourself from all the thoughts of what you have to do, what you should have done, what you could have done. Imagine you could just let go of all those things. Oh, thanks. Imagine if you let go of all those things, and instead of thinking about all the things you should have, you could have, you need to do, imagine if you stopped and you just listened to your heartbeat. Just listen to the fact that you're alive. If you listen to just the fact that of your inner life, your life itself. If you're able to, it's not an easy thing to do, but if we were able to suddenly stop all the movement in ourselves and to just be sensitive to the animation of Hashem, of ourselves, that Hashem is giving us life, that's a much deeper, higher kind of happiness than anything else. The happiness that we have from realizing from the connection that Hashem is our life and Hashem is giving us life, that's a far more satisfying than anything else. All the things that we use to satisfy ourselves, to give us pleasure, those things aren't happy. There was a great actor, I mentioned him last week, Ori Zohar. He was an actor and he became very close to Judaism.
No, he's the Johnny Carson of Israel.
Johnny Carson of Israel, excuse me. I guess you have to be a maven to understand the actors. So Johnny Carson, Uri Zohar, he after he became a Baal Tshuva, he lived in this little apartment. And one of his friends said to him, he used to have this beautiful home by the water in Jaffa, and now you're in this little apartment. He said something very remarkable. He said, there's nothing that I want in life that I don't have. There are a lot of people that are waiting for something to happen to them for them to begin their lives. They're waiting, if this happens, then my life will begin. Then I'll be happy. And their life cannot begin until that thing happens to them. Because they're basing their happiness on something outside of themselves. But the real deepest happiness is when you shut off all the sound and you just celebrate your life itself. That you are alive, that Hashem is animating you, that Hashem is saying to you every moment, L'chaim. That's the greatest happiness. It's hard to believe this, right? But this is why Hashem gave. Imagine if instead of just listening for 10 seconds, imagine if you spend 7 days doing this. Imagine if you spend 7 days shutting everything off and just thinking about how Hashem is taking care of me, and Hashem is animating me, and I'm not alone. And imagine spend 7 days doing this. You know what would happen? Then that's the real meaning of happiness. The real meaning of simcha is that you feel that all the things that are outside of you aren't the thing, and you feel the celebration of who you are and who is with you. My great grandfather, Rabbi Mayar, he was davening. He used to daven many hours. And Rabbi Zalman Markowitz, who grew up in Williamsburg, never seen anyone daven like my grandfather. I mean, it was unique. Among Chabad Chassidim, it was unique. And certainly in Williamsburg, no one davened like that. So he sees him davening on Shabbos, and he sees that there's a young boy who is waiting for him to finish davening because he can go home. And he's already elderly, and this young man is supposed to watch my grandfather and take him home. But the young man doesn't want him to finish. He's looking at him. They're looking at the pages. He's up to Nishmas. Like, how many hours is it going to take a Nishmas? He's singing. When is the guy going to finish? And so Rabbi Markowitz tells the young man, you want to go? He says, yes. He says, I'll take over. I'll stay with him till he finishes down. I'll take over. He says, okay. You want to take over? Yes. Fantastic. See you later. Thank you so much. All right. Rabbi Avram Mayar finishes davening. By the way, Rabbi Avram Mayar said about this time period of the year, on Sukkot, he would not leave the Sukkah. He would stay in the Sukkah the whole Sukkot, because he said after Yom Kippur, your soul is cleansed, your neshama is pumping, you could really connect to Hashem. It's great. He would stay in the Sukkah the whole Sukkah. He wouldn't sleep in the Sukkah, but maybe he doze off sometimes. He stayed in the Sukkah to bring the whole Sukkah. Anyways, so he finishes davening, finally finishes davening. So Rabbi Markowitz says to him, hi, I'm going to take you home. The other boy left. He says, really? Yeah, I can take you home, no worry. He says, oh, it was, what do I do with my talus? I don't want to take it home, but I don't want to lose it tomorrow. So Reb Zalman says, I'll tell you what, very simple. Just take your gartel, take your prayer belt, wrap it around your prayer shawl, and then you'll be clear that this is your talus. Don't mix it up with anyone else's talus. You'll tie up your gartel on your talus, and we'll know this is your talus. Well, no one think it's an ownerless talus. They'll see there's a gartel wrapped around it. Ram Yar said, but what do I do I want to go home, and in the middle of the night, I might have a thought of teshuvah, and I need to put on my gartel to connect with Hashem. I can't get up in the middle of the night and not have a thought of teshuvah and not have the gartel. In other words, just like he wore a gartel when he prayed on Yom Kippur, he was praying in this thing on Yom Kippur, he had to wear the gartel. When he goes home that night, he also needs the gartel because he might have a thought of tshuva. He might need to connect to Hashem, and he might be inspired. I need to have the gartel with me. See what's going on? The guy was thinking, I'm going to go home, and I need to have the gartel because I might connect. I might be moved. This is the meaning of the world being covered by water. When Hashem created the world was covered by water, and it says Hashem created the world, and it was evening, it was morning, it was day one. It doesn't say it was the first day. It says it was day one. What's the meaning of day one and the world being covered by water? The water that covered the world when Hashem created the world, that represented how all that was felt was the oneness of Hashem. Water means life. And the life that was felt then in the beginning of creation that's all there is. All there is connection to Hashem. That's all there is. There's nothing else. The Ruach, the Spirit of Hashem is upon the world. That's why it doesn't say the first day, it just says day one. It was felt in creation, the oneness of Hashem and nothing else. That's day one of creation. It was day one, not first day. Day one means it was a day, it was a time where all that you felt was the oneness of Hashem. And this is the meaning of Sukkot, to get there, to get to that feeling. Now, but then there's day two. What happens on day two? On day two, Hashem makes separation between the higher waters and lower waters. Let's forget about the physical phenomena of that for a second. Let's talk about the spiritual phenomena. The higher waters means connection to Hashem. The lower waters means that there's a whole different kind of reality and realm where the focus is enjoyment, pleasure, and physical pleasure. That's a different realm. And that's the realm, the Gemara says, what was created day two? Arguments. Arguments don't only mean arguments between us and others, it means that too, but also the arguments within ourselves. They have friction. The idea of you have a confusion, you have things pulling different directions, that's all a product of day two of creation. Day two of creation is that there's all of this confusion and complexity and things that are separated from each other. That's day two of creation. What does Hashem say to do about day two in creation? It says the lower waters are crying, we want to be back with the upper waters. We don't want there to be this separation. In a similar way, when you're in a zone of sadness, when you're in a zone of, I want this in order for me to be happy, I want this in order for me to be happy, you can't imagine another realm they're just happy with just being connected to Hashem. You can't imagine that realm of just being happy with life. When you're in the realm of the lower waters, you're unaware of the higher waters. When you're in the lower water zone, there's no such thing as the higher waters. All there is the lower waters. When you're in the zone of, I need this to be happy, I need this to be happy, I need this to be happy, and you're sad, you don't know, you can't even hear there's such a concept of the higher waters, the oneness of Hashem, and Hashem is with me, and there's nothing else, and Hashem is giving me life. You can't turn off all the noise in your brain which says, I have to do this, I did this, I should have done this, I could have done that, I wish this. You can't turn it off. You can't even imagine that. You think it's a fantasy to turn it off. No. I want to tell you a story, just to open our brains a little bit. Rabbi Pinion Juzier, he is Rebbe's emissary in what city in Florida? Florida. He every year on Sukkot he has a lot of guests on Sukkot. A lot of people come to his Chabad center, and one Holocaust survivor gets up. One Sukkot, he always asks everyone, "Could anyone share a special Sukkot?" So there's a guy, David Israel, shared the following story. David Israel said that he was in Auschwitz, and a Nazi once came into the barracks. A Nazi says, "Does anyone here speak German, Russian, French, and Hungarian?" And he's like, "Yeah, me. If it couldn't get worse over here, whatever it is, let me try whatever the job is." Great. So he took him, as you're going to be working in this area with a lot of foreign prisoners, and you're going to be working in the kitchen. But I want to show you who took the job before you. And he points to someone hanging. That person did people favors, he took favors himself. That's not what you should do if you want to stay alive over here. So David Israel, he's 15 years old, and he said it was a miracle that he and his father were separated in Auschwitz, because his father, whenever his father had anything, he would give it to him. And because his father and he were separated, his father was able to eat, and he was able to eat. Anyways, he's in the kitchen, and he had this special barracks near the kitchen, and someone knocks on his little barracks that he had, because he was working in the kitchen, a separate thing. And who was it? It was a Yid named a Rabbi. I forgot his first name. Rabbi Meislish. Rabbi Meislish was the head of a yeshiva. I forgot which yeshiva. And Meislish said, "Listen, I built a little sukkah here in Auschwitz, and I want to eat challah to kiddush. I want you to give me 2 rolls that are not cut, because once they're cut, they're not good for kiddush. I want to have 2 whole rolls so I can make kiddush." Now, it sounds like a simple request, but in Auschwitz, have a roll was like $1 million more. And the Nazis, as I said, your life is in danger. He couldn't believe it. You made a sukkah here? How'd you make a sukkah? He says they had these things where they kept the mattresses, you put them there, and they were together, these 2 boxes. They put some leaves between the 2 boxes. It's a sukkah. It's kosher. So you said, how am I supposed to give you the rolls? Listen, tomorrow I'm going to come, you give me the rolls. How am I going to give it to you? I'm putting my life in danger. He says, I'll just take it. If I show it to you, it'll be the same thing as if you take it by yourself. If the Nazis see, they'll kill me, they'll kill you. What are you talking about? He comes back the next day. You going to help me or not? So this boy is 15 years old. He says, I'm going to help you on one condition. The condition is, I want to go with you. I want to go with you to your sukkah. If you let me have make kiddush with you and eat with you, then I'll give you the rolls. He says, what are you talking about? You have no obligation to be in a sukkah. I have an obligation to be in a sukkah, but and you're only 15 years old. You have a whole life ahead of you. They both had a mitzvah of sukkah, and they both were exempt from the mitzvah of sukkah. But he meant, like, I'm an old man already. It doesn't matter what happens. You're 15 years old, you have a whole life ahead of you. Why would you risk your life? He says, no, he wasn't so religious, this guy, David Israel. He wasn't from a religious family. But he just felt at this moment, I want to be in the sukkah with you. He had no choice, Rabbi Meislish. So he said, okay, I'll take you with me. He goes with him to the sukkah, and he makes kiddush, and he eats the challah. And he says, you can't imagine the kind of feeling we have to be with Hashem in middle of Auschwitz, in middle of the sukkah. So you can't imagine the feeling we had. 25 years pass. He moved to Caracas, to Venezuela, and David Israel is visited by a friend of his who says that there's this visiting rabbi here. This visiting rabbi is collecting for yeshiva. Maybe you want to see him. All right, why not? David Israel was doing well in business. Give some tzedakah, mitzvah. Why not? This rabbi are saying a story about his life. I was in Auschwitz. I built a sukkah, and a little boy, 15 years old, it was this rabbi. So he told the rabbi, Ich bin der Yingele, I'm the child, I'm the one. Chevra, each of us is the Yingele. Each of us is a child. Each of us is a child, and each of us has the ability to live in a higher realm, to live with real happiness, to live above and beyond limitations of where we are. That's the holiday of Sukkot. The holiday of Sukkot is a chatchila river to go. We're living in the world. Although we're living in the world, to realize who we're connected to, what our life really is. That's we start our day with every day. Moida Ani. I met an elderly Jew last night, and I asked the elderly Jew, hey, tell me something. He says, people say Moida Ani, like thank you very much. Let me continue. Moida Ani lefanacha, thank you so much. We'll talk later. He said, why? He says, to think about it, Hashem is actually giving you life. It's actually something worth celebrating. And especially the way Chassidus translates Moida Ani. Thank you, Hashem, for giving me my soul, my connection to Hashem. It's a different. That's reality. That's what Simcha is. Simcha is not from anything. That's not Simcha. Simcha is from the connection to Hashem, and this is the 7 days of therapy Hashem gives us in Sukkot to bring us there. I'll tell one more story. There's a Jew, also a Holocaust survivor, who lived. I think it was in Hungary, and he and his parents lived in their own house, and they had a kitchen that was detached from the house, and the Nazis were occupying the area, and the holiday of Sukkot was coming, and his father took a hammer. They're breaking the ceiling of the kitchen, and his mother, his wife, says, "What are you doing? Why are you breaking the ceiling?" She said, "What do you mean by breaking the ceiling? It's Sukkot. You need a sukkah." She's like, "Okay, Sukkot is for 8 days. What do we do after Sukkot?" He's like, "We need this for Sukkot. What are you supposed to do for Sukkot? We can't build a sukkah now. The Nazis are here. Let's just break the ceiling and we'll have a sukkah." So he broke the ceiling. But Sukkot didn't last for 8 days that year. Whatever they put on top to take it, Sukkot lasted the whole winter. The whole winter they had Sukkot. And he never forgot that Sukkot. Rabbi Kiva was once talking about the... Rabbi Kiva and his colleagues once went on this spiritual expedition to heaven. And when they came to heaven, the following instruction was given to them. When you get to the place of the white marble, the pure white marble, don't say water, water. When you get to the place of the pure marble, don't say water, water. What does that mean? Sounds like a Chinese Confucius, Lahavdil. Get to the place of the marble, don't say water, water. You know what water means, Meshman Yamin? What do you think? There's two kinds of water. There's the water of the guy who is in the sukkah in Auschwitz. There's a water of whatever we're into right now. There's two different kinds of water. They're two different things. But what happened on the holiday of Sukkot? They took the water and they poured it on the altar. What does that mean? They brought back the lower water to the higher water. On the holiday of Sukkot, there was Hashem wants them both. In the first day of creation, it's a beautiful world. All there is Hashem. But that's not Chatchila Riber. Remember when I was studying yeshiva in Melbourne, they treated us really well. They treated us so well that one of the boys in yeshiva felt so pampered. He's like, "That's it. Rabbi, I'm leaving the yeshiva. I'm going to go to 770. We're at 770. We'll rough it a little bit here. They're doing our laundry for us. They're taking care of us. We're so pampered. And they give us so much food. I'm leaving this yeshiva. I'm going to go to 770. I want to go above and beyond limitations. I'm going to 770. So when he said that at the Fabrengen, I think he was serious. His name is Rabbi Peretz Chaim. He's emissary the Rebbe in Brandeis. So Peretz Chaim says this, and the Rebbe is emissary to Thailand at the Fabrengen. What's his name? Rabbi Cantor. Rabbi Cantor says, I don't think that's a Chatchila River. I don't think leaving is a Chatchila River. Chatchila River is you're here in Melbourne, and you're around all these physical things, and yet you're creating a spiritual oasis out of all the physical blessings that Hashem gives. You're using all those physical things Hashem placed in your life, and you're bringing out something spiritual out of all those physical things. That's the Chatchila River. This is the idea of don't say water, water. Don't say that there's one realm of insensitivity, there's another realm of holiness. Don't say there's two kinds of water. Rather, Chatchila River means Hashem empowers us. Although we have engaged in the physical world in a very, very earthy way, yet Hashem tells us, go beyond nature. Go beyond your own nature. Don't limit yourself to say, I'm able to do this, I'm not able to do that. Don't limit yourself and saying, Hashem's only able to help me this way, can't help me another way. Go to Chatchila and realize in nature, in the things that are going on in your life, the Eibusher will help you within nature, yet beyond nature. Let's say one practical thing. I'll conclude with this. We have 2 days of Sukkot. There are Jews out there don't have a sukkah, don't have luv and esrik. So as far as your arm can reach, as far as your phone can reach, as far as your pocket can reach, as far as your wallet can reach. And Chatchila Riber means they'll go beyond that. They'll go beyond that and think about other Yidden who need a luv and esrik in the sukkah. Need money for Yontif, need a place to be invited. So the Chaim of Bracha should be a Chatchila Riber, and the Eish take us a Chatchila Riber out of Golas. We should see Mashiach now. Chaim of Bracha. This is all introduction to Hiravar from Rabbi Gun. Char Rabbi Gun.
Not at all.
Okay, now after the Nivus. Chaim Racha. What? We did. Let's do it again. Rachman Zalaycha, Librocha Masleya, Fukre Veshlema. Ay tere ay 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 tere ay 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 mam tere mam 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 tere mam mam tere mam mam tere la ya la no. Yeah. Is it lettuce? You give him Tishrei? You base Tishrei. What's about Yom Lettuce's name? Moshe Aaron. Because Mashiach will come in Moshe Aaron Yimoyev. Moshe and Aaron will be with him. So Moshe Aaron, tell us something true that you know about life. You know why you came? You don't believe in divine providence? You think once someone came to the Rebbe, he told the Rebbe a list of options he has to do various shlichusim around the world. Various ideas to go on shlichusim. Go to Mozambique, go to Los Angeles, And he told the Rebbe, and this idea came to me by divine providence right before I walked into your room. The Rebbe responded, when did he become a maven? When did you become someone who understands divine providence? You know exactly the reason. You think you know the reason? Tell us something true. Maybe you're able to give us something. Look at L'chaim. First look at L'chaim. We'll give you a niggin, he'll give us something. Chaim. Shmuel, give the Jew L'chaim. What's your chata for your birthday, by the way? Start slow. Just came. Ay 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 la ay ma 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 ma. Ay 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 la la ma 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 ma. Ay la 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 ma 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 ma. Ay la la ma 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 ma. Ah ma 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 ma. Da 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 ma ma la 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 ma la ro ah oh ah oh ah oh ah oh ah ma 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 ma. Ay da 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 ma la 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 ma 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 There's a Jew in this town who always asks me, is there anybody that needs help? I want to go and help them. Anybody in this town, I want to go and help them. Tell me any Jew around town that needs help, I want to go help them. What kind of person do you think that guy is? What would you call him? What kind of name would they get in yeshiva?
Mensch.
A loser. A sucker. Whatever. Chas v'shalom. But this guy is serious. So you know what I did? So usually I'm thinking, I'll think about something, and I never think about anybody. I don't get there. And I think, you know what? This guy is serious. He wants to help people. And I give myself 2 minutes, and I say, let's sing a niggin, and I'll think of somebody. And I sang a niggin, and we sang a niggin together. And I thought of a bunch of people he could help, and he's going to help them for real. Like he wants to help people. He's going to do it, and it's real. It's gashmias. The Rebbe Rashab once said, just like the mitzvah asim and atera, the biblical commandment to put on film, the biblical commandment every day to think of for 15 minutes about Avos Yisrael. Think 15 minutes about Jews. Think of people in your life that you could Avos Yisrael, whatever that means. Think about what it means, what they need. Have to love them feel like yourself. It's a big one. It's a big one. It's just thinking about other people. To stop, because in this busy world, we don't have time to think. It's like you walk into a car to put on a shir. You have to go constantly with content. Anyways, so this is an introduction to hear of our things. L'chaim. Huh? Say l'chaim, we'll just tzak picha yirid v'recha.
There Marash.
Oh.
I'm there Marash. It was in Sugar, Lubavitch, city of Lubavitch, town of Lubavitch. There was Sugar. Right, one of the guys that hung around. He wasn't really with it. One time there Marash was going on a journey, and I guess no one was watching, whatever it was, and this guy jumped on the wagon, and without any of the Rabbi be able to catch him, jumped on the wagon, wanted to speak to Rabbi Marash. Anyways, he spoke to Rabbi Marash for a short while, and then he came off. Would you ask the Rabbi Marash? So, I'm sorry. Ask him what are you doing? Meshugana. Like Meshuga, you can do crazy things, but you have to have understanding behind it. In Lubavitch, it's all about the shtus kedusha, about having things that don't make sense and going beyond seichel. But the end of the day is things have to add up. Just to finish the story, they asked him, "What did you ask the Rabbi Marash? What do you wanted to speak to the Rabbi Marash? What did you ask him?" He said, "I asked the Rabbi Marash that I have a friend. He's a Meshuggah in a different town, and he wants me to come join him. We could be together and have fun together." And I'm thinking maybe I should go there. Maybe I should stay there. And it's the Rabbi Marash is the Rebbe in Lubavitch. I should ask him. So they asked him, what the Rabbi Marash say? He said, every town has to have its own Meshuggah.
Right.
But the point is,
and you also said, and you don't leave Lubavitch.
What?
You don't leave Lubavitch.
Don't leave.
Another thing you said. First of all, you have a monopoly here. Number one, and the town needs you. And second of all, you never leave Lubavitch.
Yeah. But I heard the story years ago. But it's a strong lesson. I don't know how applicable it is to LA, but the place where I grew up, Yeshiva,
Where?
All there. We're very into doing things that are crazy, but it has to be with some seichel.
Give us an example.
To leave something for you.
What is seichel?
Intelligence.
Yeah. So
Intelligence.
explain us the difference between Meshuggah and seichel.
How about with him mazel and seichel? Let's go to mazel and seichel first.
Mazel and seichel?
Yeah, you know what mazel and seichel, where one's driving together on the freeway? You know about this?
Yeah.
Mazel and seichel had this motorbike. They're driving together on the freeway, and Mazel's getting tired. And Mazel says to Seichel, "We gotta stop." Seichel's like, "Well, we'll stop in the next town. We can't stop in the middle of the road. We can't stop in the middle of the way." And Mazel's like, "This is my Mazel," and he's driving, so he stops the bike. And Seichel's like, "This doesn't make any sense." He says, "Yeah, but this is my Mazel." And he lies down in the middle of the road. And Seichel's like, "It doesn't make sense. At least go on the side of the road. This is my Mazel. I landed here." So Seichel on the side of the road, and he's so worried about his poor friend Mazel stuck in the middle of the road and it's in the middle of this freeway. And along comes a gentleman on an 18-wheeler. I have too many Millers. And he's going at 90 miles an hour, and he's driving, and all of a sudden he sees there's a human being in the middle of the road. Swerves the truck at the last second, and he runs right over Seichel. So Seichel intelligence isn't always the thing that gets you there. And Mazel, just going with Mazel, now Seichel is probably not either the way to go. But Chatchila Riber with Seichel, maybe I was thinking about.
Never heard of this concept of Mazel.
Never heard of this concept. You heard of this guy? Huh?
Tell me more.
I'll tell you.
Mazel Yisrael.
Ayin Mazel Yisrael means the Jewish people are beyond our sustenance comes beyond the whole Ishtalshalos. Hashem takes care of us. So it's not beyond. It's not according to limitations of nature. Hashem takes care of us.
I've heard it as like a derech naveda, Mazel.
So what's a derech naveda? What are we talking about? What are we saying? I'm thinking about what you're saying. A lot of times people think what Chatchila Riber means that they say these two yeshiva students would go together to speak in the synagogue every week. And one yeshiva student every week would say, "I have no time to prepare right now, but I have to go. I know Chatchila Riber, and I have the right thing to say when I come to the synagogue." And he does this for 1 week, and he has an amazing thing to say. Does it for a second week. Amazing thing to say. By the third week, no one else synagogue, no one else was there but him. Meaning, no one here had to say because it didn't make any sense anymore. So l'chatchila Rebbe means to prepare. L'chatchila Rebbe, to prepare to begin with. Don't wait for the last minute to go l'chatchila Rebbe. You want to accomplish something. There's a law by shchita when you shech to go all the way. You can't stop middle of shchita. If you stop middle of shchita, it's not kosher. So l'chatchila means that you set your eyes on where you need to go and don't stop in the middle. Don't stop in like your father-in-law is building a mikveh. Not stopping. What's going on? Building a mikveh. This interrupted, that interrupted, the city, the state, the government, or the federal, this plan, that plan, the funds. We're going to build a mikveh. We're not stopping. That's the way to go. Should be built with shleimus, and we should finish.
Coming tomorrow.
Huh?
Inspector is coming tomorrow.
Gimel Tishrei. What's us to so die?
Supposed to be today or tomorrow.
Where's the meat?
He's been making the Shavit Hills.
Think about
nice.
You said you have to think about how you get the simcha and sukkah. You have to find a way to get the simcha. Hatula Riba way is
Just be B'simcha.
you have to say, how can I not be B'simcha? You have to find the reason why you should be B'simcha. Instead of asking yourself, how do I make myself joyous? You ask yourself, how is it possible that I should not be joyous? That's the Hatula Riba way of preparing yourself for sukkah. Thinking about the problems, that means you're below. You're below the obstacle. It means see from above. There's absolutely no reason not to be the same.
Wow.
So I have to scratch my head to think, is there a reason why I should not be the same? I mean, of course I should be the same. It's a given. So we're going to Sukkot is about, you see from the perspective, we came from Cheder Shalom, we came from Sazim Betshuva, Shani Kippur. We're one with Hashem. Coming with the Lulav and Esrog, the Dali Yomim, 4 days connected to 4 letters in Kivavki, Kachel Lachem by Yemarish, Rishon, Lachem. All of that is like, is it possible that I should not be B'sim? It's like, everybody has understands, could explain why we should not be B'sim. So, but then there's we don't deal with. Matter of fact, actually, you see a horse, a racing horse, right? You ever see the horse jumps over the obstacle? You ever see a horse slowing down before he gets to the obstacle? If anything, he picks up more speed. But rationally, he should say, I'm stopping right here. Who is putting this wall in front of me? What a chutzpah. They want me to fall, they want me to hurt myself. It never happens sometimes. Right? Horses, as much as they are horses, they know the moment they see that wall, they pick up speed and they give all of they can. That's what I'm telling you. You see that wall? You're going to slow down. You're going to stop. Even the horse knows better. Even the horse knows better that the moment he sees the wall, it's a sign that I should pick up speed and I should give everything I can.
Wow.
And the greater the wall,
faster.
The greater you give yourself your strength. And the moment you go over it, you are more enthusiastic to do even better the next one. So it's a whole different. That's what Hatzalah means. You don't look at the wall as a impediment, as something that should make you slow, should make you down, should feel depressed. I'm trying to run smoothly, and then somebody puts a wall in front of me that's not fair. Even a horse doesn't think that way. We should take a lesson.
What's the message from the wall?
The message is the wall is a challenge in our lives.
The inspector.
The difficulties, the things which we think that we should be afraid of. That we think that we should maybe stop and think over whether we should go ahead or not. Those are the things which are considered the obstacle. And we have to know there's one and only reason. That man that put the bricks one by one, right? Putting the bricks when he created that wall, right? Putting the cement, the bricks. He knew exactly what the wall is for. I'm not making a wall for any horse to stop. That wall is going to make the horse jump.
Wow.
So Hashem made that wall for us. There was not a thought to begin with that, they might stop, they might slow down, they might bump into it.
Wow.
It's going to be exciting. This wall is going to make a champion.
Wow.
This wall is going to make the champion. The gold medal is going to come from this wall.
What's
So
the gold medal?
The challenge is what makes us the champions. The challenge is what makes us. So we look at it to begin with. Hashem picks us up over it. When you make that decision, that's not going to stop me. The rest, Hashem takes care of you. You just have to have that definition, the mindset. So you're going towards the wall, right? You think, I don't know if I can do it, but you know what? I know what the wall is there for. So I'm going to give my best. The rest, God takes you. He picks you up. He takes you there. But you have to have that mindset. You have to have that definition that this wall is not a wall for me to slow down. Sukkot, all the impediments and all the rains and the waters and the winds and all that. It's like looking at the wall. There's bricks and it's just too high and it's this and it's like it's Sukkot. We are going to go over the wall flying. We're going to go closer to Hashem than Yom Kippur. You think Yom Kippur is that oneness with Hashem? Wait until you accomplish Sukkot and get to Shvias Hamas.
Wow. So Moshe, after you hear all this, you probably have this amazing achlot you want to share with us. Why am I asking Moshe Aaron? All right, amazing. Then what about Mashiach?
No, that's it. That's Mashiach. That's Gula. What's Gula Pratis? That's Gula Pratis.
Personal redemption is Chachil Rebbe.
Our personal redemption brings the worldwide redemption, the global redemption. It starts with us. And the Abish bringing Mashiach means the Abish goes on the He wants us to do the Chachil. Just do your part and I'll finish it.
I just read something, I don't want to misquote. They ever speak about Hashem does all the mitzvahs? How does Hashem do tshuva? How does Hashem do tshuva?
Mashiach.
Yeah. They ever said Hashem made the evil inclination. Hashem made challenges for us. Hashem made the wall. And Hashem regrets the wall because of the pain that it gives us. But Hashem wants the wall to be there so we could rise above it. So Hashem doing teshuvah, Hashem's nature is He is the nature of someone who is good is to do good. So Hashem regrets to creating the evil inclination. He regrets creating the Yetzer Hara. He does it anyways because He wants something better to come out of it. But that's not Hashem's nature, so to speak. That's not Him. Tshuva means coming back to yourself. So Hashem doing tshuva means that Hashem shows us open and clear good. Open and clear good.
Comes to the world the way you're meant to be, the world of godliness.
Right. There's no challenges and what concealed anymore.
How can you say He regrets it?
The Gemara says that word. I didn't make it up.
It's just the way they speak.
What it means is Hashem. Although Hashem wants it, Hashem is painful. When we have pain, Hashem has pain. So Hashem doing tshuva means that there's no curtains anymore, no concealment anymore, and that it's open and clear good. And so just noya.
That says Rosh Chodesh as karbani, my carbon. So sages say that God is referring to His sin of making the moon smaller. Bring a carbon for me.